Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Zakithi, Ndaba and Aviwe Poswa. Now, if you're new to this channel, I try and do these videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already and I will be doing more in the near future. Now, before we dive into today's video, I do just have one disclaimer. This case is fairly new. It only happened on the 7th of March 2025 and is still undergoing court processes. And therefore, I do need to stress that these are still just allegations because they're still being tested in a court of law. Now, with that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to KZN. We will move from Escalating to Ladysmith and Durban, and subsequently we will end up in Johannesburg. Zakithi Ndaba was born on the 22nd of January in 1998. She is the youngest in the family and grew up in a warm, loving home with her parents and her siblings. Growing up, she was known to be a very smart, kind, and hardworking, beautiful young woman. She went to school at Ladysmith High School. Once she completed, she then went to Varsity College as well as Damalene, where she pursued journalism and media studies and completed them. During the 2020 lockdown, like many of us, Zakithi and her older sister Nokubonga found themselves spending a lot of time in the kitchen cooking. This really reignited their creativity, and Zakithi's passion for cooking grew even stronger. And this is when her sister and herself decided that no man, they should start their own business and make and sell their own sauces. And this made a lot of sense considering her sister had studied hospitality and they really were good at cooking. So they decided to make their own sauces because they hadn't found something like the sauces that they made in the market. So they started their own business and started making and selling sauces. They launched the business with 3 sauces: a peri-peri sauce, a beef barbecue, and a crunchy garlic sauce. And they decided to name the business after Zakithi, and they called it Indombi Zakithi sauces. And because Zakithi is such a perfectionist, and when she does something, she really goes in hard, that planted a seed for her to possibly go to culinary school. And mainly because her love for cooking had peaked, and she wanted to deepen her understanding for food and heighten her creativity in the kitchen. It was around this time in the year 2020 when she first met and started dating a man named Aviwe Poswa. Now, Aviwe came from a well-to-do family. His mother is a well-known doctor in KwaZulu-Natal. Aviwe was once registered and studied financial accounting at DUT. Even though it is not clear if he completed, most of his life he has worked as a brand promoter. So he had worked for a number of companies over the years like Ignition Group, Gel Events, and most recently Student Village, where he was working as a promoter. So he'd promote different businesses under these umbrellas. So when Zakithi and Aviwe met, they met via a mutual friend, and the relationship started off really well. They both seemed like they fell in love almost instantly. And at some point, according to Zakithi's friends, Aviwe was showering Zakithi with flowers almost every single day. They spent a lot of time together, and at first it seemed like he was just an overly protective boyfriend and nothing seemed alarming. The relationship seemed to be going really well, and around 2022, once COVID restrictions had subsided and lockdown was over, Zakithi finally took the decision that she had been sitting on for quite some time to go to culinary school. And this is when she applied and got accepted into the leading culinary school in South Africa, Johannesburg, Chefs Training and Innovation Academy, and she was so excited to start.
So, hi guys, I'm gonna go get my nails removed because I start campus on Monday and I am training to become a chef. So we aren't allowed to have nail polish, which sucks.
Zakithi was a go-getter and was extremely hardworking and was always putting her best foot forward. And that is exactly what she did when she got to the academy, which is why almost in no time she graduated and her family was right by her side, as usual, showing her love and supporting her all the way. At this point, her relationship with Aviwe was starting to show some cracks. Aviwe was a lot more possessive, and one could even go as far as saying he was very obsessed with her. He did not want her to socialize without him, including just going out with her friends. And this is besides the fact that Zakithi had built herself a strong circle of friends that loved and supported her and wanted to see her often. And quite frankly, Aviwe wanted none of that. He stressed that he did not want her going out. Any occasion that she would go out, he would make a big deal about it. To an extent, on one occasion, friends remember he had found her chilling with her friends at a friend's place. This was not a club, this was not a party, it was just a group of friends that were chilling at a friend's place. And when he got there, he threw alcohol on her. And this incident happened back in 2020 when they had initially started dating. And this type of atrocious behavior escalated over time. Aviwe would constantly be physical with Zakithi and was always just laying his hands on her when he could not get his way, or as just a way to make sure that he was fully in control of her. Around 2022, Zakithi fell pregnant and they welcomed their first child together. And for a bit after the child had been born, things seemed to be going really well. During this period, they spent a lot of time together as a family and all seemed like it was going very well. However, within no time, things seemed to go back to normal and they got worse once more. At this point, Zakithi was staying in Sunninghill at the Apollo. She was working at Trump's Grill House in Sandton and was thriving in her life. Things were really coming together. She also had a YouTube channel where she was posting food recipes.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Zakithi Ndaba and today I'm going to be making cheese stuffed mash, beef pie and beef stroganoff lasagna. I hope that you guys do enjoy this video and please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. And let's get into this video.
On top of all of that, a business with her sister Nokubonga was thriving. So she was really pushing really hard to just make sure that she was able to take care of her daughter and provide for her. And also she just elevate her life because she was quite driven. And she was doing all of this while being a devoted and loving mother to her daughter. I personally truly believe that Aviwe really hated seeing Zakithi thriving and working so hard and achieving her goals and dreams while he was just still working as a promoter, which is why this may have led to some sort of resentment, which led him to even want to control her even more and be more physical with her. However, if you're a person looking outside into the relationship, you could not easily tell how tumultuous that relationship was, or the cracks in the relationship for that matter, because they were hidden so well. And this is because Aviwe made sure of that. He always portrayed them as a picture-perfect family/couple, to the extent of which one of Zakithi's friends then said that they actually noticed that Aviwe had somewhat of a routine where he would post multiple statuses at least once a month praising Zakithi and showering her with love. And this would be around the same time when he was being very physical with her and laying his hands on her. So this is just the type of twisted person Zakithi was dealing with. You would also not see anything from their social media because he always made sure that the relationship is posted in the best light. Now, he also took her out to beautiful outings and was a big gift giver. And from social media posts, like, one would think that he was such a supportive boyfriend, because on one occasion he bought her a set of knives for culinary school. Now, one would think, oh my God, like, this guy is so supportive, so thoughtful, but no one had a clue of what was happening in the background.
Anyways, I'll show you guys my knife set that my boyfriend got me. They're so cute. They have like this rose gold kind of feel on them and they're black and so pretty.
I have seen some images of how brutal Aviwe was with Zakithi, to a point of which on one of the pictures, she's fully covered in blood. He had absolutely no mercy. Now, one would then ask is, why didn't she leave him? And this is something that is very common for GBV victims. Now, although everyone, especially her loved ones, would have loved for her to walk away, it has become very apparent in the videos that I do and in life in general that it's not easy for victims to leave. That is because of many reasons. That there's also a cycle that happens where there's violence, and then after violence, there's a lot of affection, there's a lot of flowers and posting and loving. That confuses the victim over time. Beyond the psychological aspects of it, Aviwe was also not shy to communicate that if she leaves, if Zakithi leaves him, he is going to take the daughter away from her. And he communicated this a couple of times. He did this because he moved with the narrative that he came from a very strong family, financially and with connections, and that he would be able to make sure that if Zakithi leaves, he is then going to live with the daughter. And on other days, he would even go deeper and be very frank with her to say that if you leave me, I am also going to take your life. So it was just not an irrational irrational fear. She actually had real fears that actually this person is capable of doing A, B, and C, because I've seen him lay his hands on me and he shows no mercy when he's doing that. It was not easy for her to just simply say that I'm upping and leaving. And also, she was young. This started when she was very, very young, in her early 20s, all the way to her late 20s when she was around 27 years old. So he was able to manipulate her over a long period of time. And that does play a big role in these situations. But over time, Zakithi was definitely growing out of love and was not happy. And a lot of her friends and even the neighbors picked this up. So you know how I mentioned earlier that Zakithi was staying in an apartment in Sunninghill at the Apollo. Aviwe obviously had full access of the apartment and was in and out a lot of the times. And one of the neighbors from the Apollo actually mentioned that Zakithi was not happy. And there had been so many incidents since the time that she had moved in of GBV, and security had to be called in a couple of times to step in. But according to Zakithi's friends, by the beginning of this year, she was completely done. She was over the relationship and she was communicating that she was done. Now, around the same period, in a conversation Aviwe was having with his friends, then shared with his friends that if Zakithi leaves him, he is going to take Zakithi's life. And then he started laughing. And everyone around him also started laughing. And I think maybe they thought that it was some sort of dry humor or dark humor. Aviwe actually meant what he said because of what would happen on the 7th of March of 2025. On the 7th of March 2025, Aviwe went to the Apollo apartments in Sunninghill, and with him he had his 9mm. And it is believed that the couple argued for a bit when he got there, and out of nowhere, he took it out and he fired at Zakithi, and she immediately lost her life. And after this, just to show how absolutely malicious he was, then took Zakithi's phone, he put it in the charger, and this was because he wanted to make sure that it doesn't die. When friends and family call her, it needed to continue ringing. That's just how thorough he was thinking about everything he was doing. He put the phone in the charger, and then he wrapped a towel around where blood was seeping out, and then he left her there. Took her car keys. He didn't have a car. And then he drove it out of the province from Johannesburg to KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, KwaMashu in an effort to go and hide. So as he was driving to KZN, a few hours later, friends and family started reaching out to Zakithi, and she was not picking up. It was absolutely not normal for her to not pick up or at least get back to someone saying that I'm still busy with something, that I'll get back to you or anything. She was just not responding. And obviously the mother started getting worried. Zakithi's mother then called Aviwe, asking, where is Zakithi? I'd like to speak to her. Are you not next to her? Aviwe then says he blatantly lied, knowing exactly what he had done to Zakithi. He said to Zakithi's mother that no, Zakithi is sleeping. When he got to KwaMashu, he then started attempting to remove the tracker from Zakithi's car because he had stolen it and he did not want anyone to know where it was, obviously. As he was trying to remove the tracker then was able to pick it up on their end that someone was tampering with the tracker, called Zakithi. Unfortunately, obviously, she could not answer. When they could not get through to her, then they called the next person, which was Zakithi's mother. And immediately when she found out that the car was in KwaMashu, she knew that something was wrong. She knew that this was concerning. This is when she reached out to the police as well as the security at the apartments. Unfortunately, by the time the police got to the apartment, Zakithi had already lost her life. To say that the family was distraught is an understatement. They then made their way to Johannesburg. This was while the police then started the mission of trying to find Aviwe. This is because they had managed to get CCTV footage of him taking the car from the apartment. And also, he was the last person there, so he was definitely a person of interest. Friends and family put out pictures of Aviwe on social media, asking the public to help them look for Aviwe. And they actually also explained exactly what he had done. This was happening while some of Aviwe's friends were harboring him, essentially giving him a place to hide even though he had done something so sinister. When people saw the posts of Aviwe, a lot of them came out sharing what they knew about him. A lot of them were saying that he had done something similar before. A former acquaintance came out and said that he could easily believe this because Aviwe was trigger happy.
Hey, Musa, sorry about ngaleyo chere le eyazi out ngeyazi mina sengasanda eDevonport Suangazi kapolo pino ngaba sahamba sayiflethini lezinye iy'ngane wayethi asifuthe ezinye iy'ngane zasitshontshela amafoni wayeseyikhiphile igani. So ngiyakholwa ngempela ukuthi angenzeka ukuthi yena athi inhliziyo encane uPoswa nomba mfethu wayehlala morning side futhi lomshitibe ngicanga.
Other people came out to say that they knew him from as far back as high school and how he had went MIA after a scandal where he had laid his hands on a girl. Some even came out to say that Aviwe had forced himself on them. The police, plus family and friends, were doing everything to find Aviwe. In a recording recorded by Aviwe's friends, his mother had communicated with Aviwe, basically saying that she will send him money and he must use that money to book a bus to Mozambique. So basically what she was saying is that use this money to flee. This is allegedly coming from a person who's a medical doctor recommending her son, who is wanted by the police, to flee and avoid arrest. However, unfortunately for the mother, Aviwe took that money and bought substances instead of fleeing the country. After 9 days of hiding, and I think because maybe his friends had gotten frustrated with him, he then opted to hand himself to the police and was arrested. His arrest was, however, not too long because within 4 days he was out on bail. He was out on 5,000 rands bail because his defense team had managed to persuade the judge and say that he deserved bail because he was a first-time offender, because he had no previous convictions, so he was not a flight risk, and also he had handed himself to the police. They were arguing all of this even though he fled from Johannesburg to KZN after stealing Zakithi's car. He didn't hand himself over immediately. He hid for a period of 9 days. Also, the only other reason he does not have any previous convictions is because, and this is alleged, and I have to stress, this is alleged that he had taken someone else's life before, but dockets went missing. And so, obviously, if dockets go missing, there's no trial. And if there's no trial, there's no convictions. Obviously, you're going to have no previous convictions. Nonetheless, the judge gave him bail 4 days after handing himself over. Then he pleaded with the court that he took her life by accident. And that is currently the narrative that he's pushing in court. Even though a few days prior to him taking her life by accident, he was joking that if Zakithi breaks up with him, he is going to take her life. I don't know if that's premeditation or an accident, but it looks a lot like premeditation to me. After coming out on bail to further push the narrative that he did everything by mistake, he then started posting WhatsApp stories on how he will love her till the end of time, how he doesn't want nothing at all if it's not you, how baby it's still so hard to believe. Like, these are the stories that he was pushing out immediately after he got out of bail. And when one of his friends asked him what happened, this is what he said. You don't know what happened, bro. It's not what the socials are saying. Wait for the trial. You'll see that I'm the bro you know, not this person they're trying to make me out to be. As you're saying, you know I love her. I've always protected her from everything. Plan my life with her, bro. Oh, she's gone. Ibuhlungu. I'm sure you are too because she's your friend. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And it's forever. Sorry you're hurting, bro. I cry all day and night. No words can describe the pain I'm in. I can't imagine her mom because we're all so close. Aye, bro. I'll call you tomorrow, my brother. This is essentially the drama and the acting that he was pushing. Even though he was playing this heartbroken boyfriend who had just made this big mistake, on the side, he was on Tinder, swiping left and right, looking for someone else. And this was less than 2 weeks, guys. Less than 2 weeks after he had taken Zakithi's life, this man was active on Tinder. So for the few people that don't know, Tinder is like a dating website or a hooking up website where you swipe left or right for someone that you want to hook up with or be in a relationship or pursue, whatever the case may be. But he had his whole profile there, actively looking for the next person, dare I say, his next victim. And when Zakithi's sister Nokbonga found out about this, she then took the screenshots, posted them on TikTok, and basically shared that, listen, this guy had done A, B, and C. He's now active. Just look out, guys. Keep yourself safe. This guy is dangerous. And that post went viral because a lot of people then commented that, listen, I know this guy. This guy had violated someone I know. So some other people said that this guy violated me, forced himself on me. And a lot of people were coming out showing how sinister and dark of a person Aviwe is. Honestly, Zakithi's sister has been doing the Lord's work. She has been showing up for her sister and sharing her story from as early as just a few weeks after her passing.
Sanbonani. My name is Ndaba. This is not usually what I usually post, but yeah. I am trying to, I don't know, but I need your help. I'm lost in life right now because I lost a part of me that I don't know if it would ever be filled again. He took away something that, yeah, I've been asking people to give me time, but I see that the more time I take for myself to just, because I feel like I'm in a dream and I'm just seeing all of this and I'm just gonna wake up and but again. So Aviwe unalived my sister. He has previous charges of unaliving someone, allegedly. The dockets go missing. He got bail. There's footage of him driving her car, taking her car. You know, he's done horrible things to her during the relationship, and he's threatened to take the child away because Zakithi is a baby and they've got money. So yeah, he always threatened to take the child away. There's messages from her friends, you know, saying that she wanted to leave so badly, but all the time she threatened him. So I'm asking you to please repost, share, because if he's done it so many times, he's probably gonna do it again. I'm not gonna cry on the internet because my sister would probably be like, girl, no, but I need your help. So I'm asking you to please, can we stop this man? Can we? It's not even a man. I apologize, because men don't do what he did. Men don't do what he did. You don't unalive the mother of your child. Someone is taking care of your child. You don't do that. To his friends, the ones that, you know, hit him while all of this was happening, especially to Ulandi, because he knows me. I saw the messages. I saw how you were like, ha 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 ha. He's caught, he's in jail. You were laughing while we buried our sister. And I'm hoping that with that hey 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 ha ha, that he doesn't do it to you or to your sister. I'm hoping to his family that, you know what, maybe one day, because I don't think he's okay. I hope he doesn't unalive one of you, because if you guys are harboring someone who's done this before, he's definitely going to do it again. And I really hope that he does not put you through what he's put my entire family. And to the justice system, please tag Ubaba Mkhonazi. Please tag him, please show him, because we have evidence, we have everything. But again, because they've got money, they've got influence, they've got whatever. Yeah. I am not someone who hates. I am not someone on Intlizembe. If you know me, you know. Zakithi is not someone who has that. She's, you know. But I'm making this video to ask for your help. I still need time because I really don't know what's going on in life right now. Everything is just, I don't want to get poor. But he needs to be stopped.
Also, just to add to that, I also plea, let's rally behind the family. Let's call for justice for Zakithi, because we do know that, guys, sometimes for justice to be seen to be done in South Africa, it has to go viral. The case has to be spoken about a little bit more. Zakithi's sister, who she started a business with, Nokubonga, is still very active on social media. You'll find her on TikTok. The business is still going on. If you can, please, let's support the business. Support is not only buying from the business, it could be from as little as liking their page, liking their post, sharing their post. And also you can buy from the business. The business is based in Durban, but I'm sure they ship nationwide. So let's support where we can, because supporting the business indirectly supporting Zakithi's dream and keeping it alive, and also supporting her daughter, because she has left a daughter. Now, make sure that I also put up all her social media handles. And that is where I'm going to be ending today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.